Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, Virgos, let's take a look at Virgo's next adventure. All right, Virgo, I actually already did do a video for you. It got just a smidge long, so it probably won't be able to break until tomorrow, but look for that. It is an interesting one, Virgo. We have got the Hanged Man. All right, so we've got this delay. Virgo's next adventure is not here yet, is what it says. Things are starting to unzip. Virgo might be in a state where they've got a lot of ideas rolling around in their head, a lot of visions of what they should do, want to do, dreams, things. I think Virgo has like a bit of a, like we'll say, a rap sheet of ideas, possibly business ideas, things that they might like to do, places they might want to go, adventures that they'd like to have, but nothing has presented itself as like, oh, I'm definitely going to be able to do this, or oh, I'm definitely heading off into this direction or that direction. With that Queen of Pentacles here, though, Virgo's making their visionary ideas something much more tangible. Whatever it is that Virgo is more heavily latched onto, whatever plan Virgo, like, sometimes there's stuff that we think we could randomly do, but then there's stuff that we really crave and we really want to do. That's what's going to come to the surface. That's going to be the next adventure for Virgo. Right now, their thoughts are all over, but it's going to start to kind of like a ping pong ball machine. It bounces here and there, and then finally, as it works its way down, then we see where it's really going to land. But in this case, it's going to be something very true, very real, very authentic. Now, we have a Page of Cups. This feels like, first off, Virgo could maybe want to go from a green mountainous area to the ocean. They may take a trip someplace by the sea. In truth, Virgo might want to have a big heart-to-heart conversation with somebody, or they may actually have always wanted to hear an apology from a certain person, someone to tell them a truth. That seems to be what comes next for Virgo. Right now, Virgo's all over the place. I don't know what my next adventure is in life. I might travel here. I might want to go there. I might want to do this with my life. Maybe I'm more interested in career right now. Maybe I'm more interested in, finding a new place to live. Maybe I'm more interested in working in my own home where I already live, decorating, doing whatever. Or maybe I want a connection with somebody. I feel like Virgo's true wish fulfillment, the thing that they want most, that will be most beneficial and give them the greatest sense of groundedness and satisfaction, is actually this. So that's what Virgo's really calling in. It doesn't have to take a long time to get here. It'll come in as soon as Virgo centers their thoughts and their heart and acknowledges inside themselves, what I want more than all other things is, and substitute whatever that topic is. In this case, I want to hear the truth from this person, or I want to hear from this person. Tell me about the Page of Cups. Who is this? What is this? The Chariot sideways. And that card spun and spun before it landed and ended up sideways. Something has been taking forever. And part of me thinks that Virgo has alternately said, I don't want that. Yes, I do. I don't want to hear from them. Yes, I do. It doesn't matter. Yes, it does. It feels like there's this spinning, twirling, I don't know if it matters. But it does matter. Six of Wands is upright. It is something that would make Virgo actually feel really good to hear this particular person either say sorry, or to hear this person, who could be a water sign. It's an emotional thing that Virgo would most like in their next adventure, right? It's not that it's the only important thing in Virgo's life, is that it would ground Virgo and it would give them some sense of oh my God, I didn't know how badly I needed that chapter of my life to be wrapped up or to make more sense. I didn't realize how much I actually needed that. Okay, I'm still unclear on what this is, who this is. We have got a 10 of Pentacles. It is maybe a long overdue inheritance. Maybe it's a long overdue gift of finances that Virgo should have been, given a long time ago. Maybe this is... we got the 10 of Cups too. Okay, so it does look like it's love. It does look like what Virgo's next adventure is up to them. Right now, Virgo is quite scattered and they're imagining all kinds of different ways their life could go. But in their heart of hearts, there is one pathway that they want more than others. And it seems to be the pathway of having like a forever partner, having a great love story, having a stable and beautiful union, building a lifetime together with someone. 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles is beautiful, beautiful energy. And this is the thing Virgo hasn't had yet. Let me just ask, with that Chariot there being sideways, yeah, 9 of Pentacles. Virgo is waffling between saying, I only think of my life and what my future will be and the adventures I'll have next as a single person. But then this says Virgo has this little side of themselves that wobbles and goes, I mean, unless I had a partner. But it's almost like Virgo's been afraid to go ahead and tell the universe, I'm ready for that. It's like our Virgo themselves has been indecisive about whether they want to continue to like just have their personal success or whether they want to duplicate their energy, have a partner, have somebody to rely on, somebody to build. You know, I feel like Virgo makes their own money, pays their own bills, does really, really well. But do you know how much easier Virgo's life would get? They had a partner that was contributing 50%. You know how much pressure and stress and tension would come off of Virgo's shoulders if it wasn't just Virgo doing everything. And I think Virgo's like, maybe, but then again, I don't know. I'm not saying that, I mean, this would be about love, not money, but I will say Virgo has not considered having support from another person because they haven't had it, but in truth, they would like that. But almost because it still is a fuzzy and unfamiliar turf, it's like they haven't quite let themselves really envision that. But their heart wants this. But the universe is like, listen, you got to be clear on what it is you're ordering from me. The analogy I've always used is this. If you've been with me for 5 years, I'm sorry, I know you've heard me say this before, but if we call up to order a pizza and we say, hi, I'd like pizza. And the pizza person is going to say, okay, what kind? And we're like, well, I like pizza that has meat on it. But then, you know, trying to eat less meat. So vegetables are a really good option. Okay, sure. So you want a vegetarian pizza? Well, no, I really like, you know, sausage. And okay, so you want a vegetarian with sausage on it? Well, no. See, and if we go on and on and on, prattling back and forth and never placing our order, at some point the pizza person is going to hang up the phone and say, you have to call me back when you know what kind of pizza you want, because right now I'm just on the phone with you while you tell me about the things you do and don't want, but you won't commit to placing your order. So you need to call me back when you know what you want. And I feel like that's the equivalent for Virgo right now. Virgo can take as long or as short as they would like to have their next adventure, but their next adventure is going to be the thing that their heart wants most. And at this point, says that their heart most wants somebody to come forth and really be ready to look Virgo in the eye and have a heart-to-heart and possibly an apology. But Virgo is still waffling about whether or not they call that person in or not. Now, here's the one thing. Does Virgo think that this person, whomever they would want this truthful conversation with, is this somebody from Virgo's past and Virgo just doesn't know if they could ever trust this person to be their forever individual? Or is it that Virgo is not sure that they even want a partnership? I don't know. Does Virgo know who this is? The Justice card. It could be a Libra. It's somebody who did Virgo wrong. Maybe this is why Virgo is so conflicted. All of this speaks of Virgos having a, you know, in their own head, they're not sure about what would they want. Do I want this person who did me wrong to come in and fix it all so we can have a happily ever after? Part of them doesn't want this, and the other part of them really, really, really does. Judgment. That's the reconciliation. The everything would be made right. Could everything be made right? You know what? Let's turn to the universe for just a moment and say, universe, is it possible? Could everything be made right between Virgo and this person if there was a huge injustice there? The King of Pentacles, it says that this person is the right person for Virgo. It is the person Virgo has wanted. They are a King of Pentacles, which would be a great match for Virgo. But with the Five of Wands, they're thinking about this all the time also. thinking, can I be in Virgo's world? Would Virgo take me back? I already knew this was the Liar's card, Seven of Swords. And I have to say, oh my gosh, when you see the other Virgo video, I mean, we had the Seven of Swords 3 times. It was liar, 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 liar. Gosh, they're wondering all the time, could they come back in and speak a truth and make it all right with the Nine of Pentacles? So hang on, character, what did you lie about to Virgo? Queen of Swords. Yikes. Wait, so were you already with somebody at the time that you knew Virgo? Eight of Wands sideways. Ace of Pentacles upright. I think that they tried to start something new with Virgo when in fact they were going to have to still have unfinished business that needed to be resolved elsewhere. They weren't really free to move toward Virgo however much they desperately wanted to. And I think that they weren't transparent about that. And I feel like Virgo knows this. Hang on. So were you in love with Virgo then? And that is, you've been true to Virgo even though you weren't truthful? This says they betrayed Virgo. Seven of Cups in the reverse. There's not even any way around it. They flat out betrayed Virgo. Why'd you betray Virgo? Two of Cups. Virgo was my Two of Cups. Virgo was the person I really wanted. So I just went ahead and pretended I could be with Virgo because I had to get a taste of that. So you knowingly lied to Virgo, knowing full well that you were with a Queen of Swords. Were you not even intending to leave the Queen of Swords at the time that you met Virgo? The Moon, everything was hidden. They had big old secrets. Okay, so straight up, this person lied. They were already in some other situation when they met Virgo. They're not even trying to pretend that they didn't betray. They say that they did, and that's 100% true. They were a betrayer. However, the reason they did this is because they said, but Virgo was my Two of Cups. I met Virgo and I knew they were the one that I was supposed to be with. That was my Queen of Pentacles. They're the ones that I wanted to be with, but I already had a Queen of Swords in my life. But I pretended I didn't. I thought maybe I could hide that because I had to see what it would be like to be with Virgo because Virgo was my Two of Cups. No wonder Virgo's like, part of them says, my next adventure, I would really like, the thing that would settle my soul would be to have a heart-to-heart conversation with someone, in this case, the person who did me wrong. It's because I think they've never apologized. Yeah, Nine of Swords. And they have hovered around Virgo. I feel like Virgo's never been free of this person. They're like, how do you feel about the fact that you out and out betrayed Virgo, though, character? What? You cannot believe this. This is the King of Swords, which is the prime character in the other Virgo story as well. Let me tell you, they have had as much intense, like, I have to find a way to fix this. They hover outside of Virgo's energy like all the time, knowing that they have to make this right somehow with Virgo, that they pretended that they were going to be able to be Virgo's person, all the while knowing, I don't know how I'm going to make this work. I mean, I'm not actually single. I'm pretending to be single when I have a Queen of Swords. I can't come toward Virgo right now, but oh my God, if I could just keep that secret, because Virgo, I'd give anything to be with Virgo. I'm betraying Virgo, but I've got to know what it feels like to be with this Two of Cups. I've never felt like this about anybody. Virgo's my person. What do? Well, you don't lie. You don't cheat, but they did all that. And now this energy of, I think that they have stressed Virgo out also because it was so wrong and it was so obvious and they know it and Virgo knows it. And the whole thing was a big old mess. And the big thing is, how do I restore any kind of anything with Virgo? Well, I don't know. What are you going to do? Because Virgo is the one who's not exactly calling them back in, but thinks about it all the time. So we need to get past this forever, in between energy of how could you do it? How are you going to make this right? And we need to just get to the point of what's going to happen next so that Virgo can either shed this, let this go, or say, fine, I want to hear you come in and say sorry to me. It is Virgo's energy right now that is keeping this from happening, but simultaneously, like this, we're on the cusp of having a shift here. Okay, Two of Cups. I'm so sorry. This is such a complicated storyline because there is this deep love between these two. And I mean, I know nothing has been right, nothing has been handled with integrity. I mean, obviously, this is one of those storylines where they were very much in love with Virgo and they did everything that you could do wrong, right? But there was a Two of Cups here and there's still a Two of Cups here. So that's what makes this so complicated. Look, I am not advocating for like, oh, let's just sweep it under the rugs. This will be fine. Somebody who's a liar can totally get back into Virgo's world. I don't really know how that would all work, but I will say this, acknowledging maybe that it was an unconditional love despite everything. You know, nothing was handled right, but Virgo loved them and they loved Virgo, and it was still a big old stinking mess. Maybe acknowledging that, saying, sorry, I messed all this up. This is, you know, maybe that conversation could be very helpful, and just saying, for what it's worth, you know, Virgo, it was all real. I really loved you. It feels like they need to acknowledge that they did this for themselves. They need to know what it felt like to be loved by Virgo. It was a selfish act, even though they loved Virgo. I feel like everything they said to Virgo was true about how they felt, but their actual life story was not true. So I'll put a trigger warning on this one. Oh my gosh, I'm going to need a nap after this. Ten of Swords. And maybe it's just time for this to be aired out. The acknowledgement of what I did was incredibly selfish because I wanted to be loved by you, Virgo, when I knew I couldn't give you the equal in the return. And I really think that's what it boils down to. With that Ten of Swords, this could either put an end to the pain that Virgo has carried over this or clear this out. Ten of Wands, it would lay down a lot of burdens for this conversation to happen. So that's why Virgo says, what I think I'd really like is to lighten this load. What I think I'd really like is to finally hear somebody out. And I think that Virgo has still though been like, I don't know that I want to, but I think I need to. I don't know that I want to, but I think I need to. So let me just ask this. Is Virgo about to somehow energetically open up the space to say, you can talk to me? I think so, with that Four of Wands, because it'll be in Virgo's best interest. I don't even know if it means that these two ever end up back together. I just think that the time to like, it feels like it would be so much like of pain relief to finally hear somebody. Yeah, it would undo the Three of Swords. Three of Swords is in the reverse. It would really take away a lot of that sting to allow the dialogue to happen. And then from there on out, I think Virgo can have a happily ever after. Hermit energy. Virgo could really like, okay, everything's ordered again. Everything is in order again. Now I can have great love again. I don't know. Is it with him? Is there a potential that Virgo would ever be with him? Five of Wands says, I don't know that I think that. It just says that it's time to close this chapter. And to close this chapter is to give someone the space to come forth and explain everything. And is that really what you want to do? King of Swords, do you want to come forward and explain it all? Seven of Swords, those lies will sit with them and sit with Virgo lifetime after lifetime if they don't. Those lies have to be addressed. The lies that they know they told, the lies that Virgo knows they told. Eight of Swords, this was unfinished business that has been keeping both of them so completely trapped for such a long time. Queen of Wands, I really think that there's only one way forward, and that is for them to clear the air with Virgo, to give Virgo the respect, to tell Virgo that they were selfish, but on the other hand, that they really did love Virgo. That's the only way I think that they'll ever be able to clear this karma. I don't know if these two have a potential together. That Five of Wands says, who knows? But to clear their karma together could be a really great thing. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. You have no idea how important that is, especially right now. So for any of those content creators that you watch, please don't forget to give thumbs up and subscribe. It's the only way our channels can continue. So it's really important right now. Thank you. Bye.